I used it for Emily's wedding deposit, Cameron said, standing in the doorway of my home office with a glass of wine in her hand. The venue needed $25,000 today. Consider it a gift. For several seconds, I did not move. My laptop was open on the desk. A banking alert glowed on the screen. Transfer completed. $25,000. I looked at Cameron, then back at the number. You transferred money from the savings account ending in 7,814, she sighed. Do not use that banker voice with me, Bruno. We are getting married in 4 months. Your money is going to become our money anyway. That account was not household money. Emily found the perfect venue. It was the last available date. That money was for Noah and Claire. Cameron rolled her eyes. Your children are 12 and 9. They will not need it tomorrow. Emily is getting married once. Let me break it down for you. Stop acting like every family decision is a loan application. For 3 years, I had kept that money untouched. Not when my car needed repairs, not when her brother asked for help with rent. The money belonged to my children's future. Cameron lifted her glass. I knew you would be upset, but you will calm down. You always do. I closed the laptop. Understood. I said. She smiled, misreading my silence as surrender. At that exact moment, the front door opened. My grandfather walked inside, carrying a paper bag from the bakery near his apartment. Arturo Moretti was 81 years old, but he still had the kind of presence that made people lower their voices. I brought almond cookies for Claire, he said. Then he noticed the silence. His eyes moved from Cameron to my laptop. Son, he said carefully, the money I gave you to keep for your children. Where is it? Cameron went pale. I stood, walked toward Grandpa, and leaned close enough that only he could hear me. She transferred it without permission. Call Martin. Tell him to bring the blue folder. Grandpa took out his phone immediately. Martin, he said, come inside. Bring the folder. Cameron tried to laugh. Arturo, this is being blown out of proportion. Emily needed a wedding deposit. Bruno and I are practically married. Grandpa did not look at her. 2 minutes later, someone knocked. When I opened the door, Martin Hale was standing on the porch in a dark suit, holding a thick blue folder. Martin was my grandfather's attorney. The moment Cameron saw him, she finally understood that the $25,000 had never been casual savings. It had a purpose, it had documentation, and now it had witnesses. I met Cameron 2 years after my divorce. By then, I had rebuilt a quiet life that worked. I was 41, a senior relationship manager at a regional bank, and the father of 2 children who spent alternating weeks with me. Noah was 12 and obsessed with astronomy. Claire was 9 and believed every serious conversation improved if cookies were involved. My house was not luxurious, but it was stable. School bags near the stairs, shoes in the hallway, a calendar on the refrigerator covered with dentist appointments and soccer practices. Cameron entered our lives like warmth. After a long winter, she remembered Noah's science fair date. She helped Claire find a costume for a school play. She brought dinner when work left me exhausted. Her daughter Emily was 24. Emily had a soft voice, expensive taste, and a talent for turning inconveniences into emergencies. She was rarely openly rude. She preferred sighs, hurt expressions, and sentences that made refusing her feel cruel. At first, I did not mind helping. When Emily needed $1,800 for a car repair, I paid it. When Cameron's brother Darren lost his job and needed rent money, I covered a month. When Cameron said her mother needed dental work before insurance approved it, I transferred another $2,400. Every request arrived wrapped in emotion. You are the only reliable person in my life. I hate asking, but family helps family. You know I would do the same for you. That last sentence was easy to believe because I wanted it to be true. My grandfather noticed the pattern before I did. One Saturday, while Noah and Claire were upstairs arguing over a video game, Grandpa sat at my kitchen table and watched me send Cameron $600 for wedding planning expenses. You keep paying for emergencies, he said. It is not a big deal. Emergencies happen. But in that family, emergencies seem to have a schedule. I laughed. He did not. Then he placed an envelope on the table. Inside was a cashier's check for $25,000 and a letter drafted by Martin. Grandpa wanted me to keep the money for Noah and Claire until we moved it into a formal education trust. The letter was clear. The funds were reserved exclusively for my children. I am not giving you spending money, Grandpa said. I am giving them a head start. I understand. Do you? His question annoyed me then. Now I understood why he asked twice. I deposited the money into a separate high-yield savings account. I did not hide it from Cameron. When we discussed marriage and finances, I explained exactly what it was. That belongs to Noah and Claire, I said. It stays untouched. Cameron smiled. Of course. Your kids come first. That sentence lasted until Emily got engaged. Her fiancé, Daniel, seemed like a decent man. Quiet, thoughtful, he worked in logistics and looked uncomfortable whenever Emily discussed wedding prices. The venue Emily loved was a restored estate outside the city. Stone walls, gardens, glass conservatory, a staircase designed for photographs. The full weekend package cost more than some people earned in a year. When Emily showed us the brochure over dinner, Daniel cleared his throat. We should probably look at something smaller. Emily frowned. It is one day. I do not understand why everyone acts like I am asking for a private island. Cameron touched her daughter's hand. You deserve a beautiful wedding. Then she looked at me. The silence did the asking. How much is the deposit? I asked. $25,000, Cameron said. The coincidence was too obvious. No. Emily pushed her chair back. Forget it, Mom. I told you he would make it weird. Daniel looked at her. We can find another place. No, it is fine. I do not want money from someone who clearly does not consider me family. She left the table. Cameron waited until the door slammed. You embarrassed her. I answered a question. You counted dollars while my daughter sat there crying. That money belongs to Noah and Claire. They are children. That is the point. Her face hardened. You always turn family moments into banking transactions. 2 days later, Cameron's family group chat filled with jokes. Darren sent a meme of a man guarding a vault. Bruno protecting the children's college fund while Emily gets married in a parking lot. Cameron's mother added laughing emojis. Emily wrote, some people know the price of everything and the value of nothing. Then Cameron posted on Facebook, it is heartbreaking when someone claims to love your family but treats kindness like a loan application. Some people use money to control others. Her friends rushed to comfort her. One called me emotionally stingy. Another wrote that Cameron deserved a man with a generous heart. Darren commented, imagine working at a bank so long that you start thinking like an ATM with trust issues. I read every comment. I did not respond. What hurt was not that strangers thought I was cheap. What hurt was Cameron's silence while her relatives mocked me. At home, she acted as though nothing had happened. She asked whether I wanted pasta for dinner. She reminded me that Emily's bridal shower date had changed. She asked whether I could pick up dry cleaning. The next week, I noticed Cameron becoming unusually interested in my laptop. You still use the same password manager? She asked one evening. Yes, that seems dangerous. It has multi-factor authentication. She laughed. Even at home, you sound like a training seminar. Because of my job, I had habits. I reviewed login alerts. I checked device history. I kept backups. After a package theft, the previous winter, I had installed a small security camera in the hallway and another in my office facing the door. 3 days before Grandpa arrived with the cookies, I received an alert that someone had tried to access the savings account from my home internet connection while I was at work. The login failed. I changed the password. The next afternoon, another login succeeded from my tablet. The tablet had been used at 2:17 p.m. while I was at the bank and my children were at school. Cameron had been home. I could have confronted her. Instead, I activated transaction alerts. I wanted to believe she had only looked. Then the transfer happened. $25,000 moved from the savings account to the wedding venue. When I arrived home, Cameron was waiting with wine. She did not apologize. She did not ask. She informed me. Less than 10 minutes later, Grandpa and Martin were sitting at my kitchen table. Martin opened the blue folder. Miss Lawson, he said, did Bruno authorize the transfer? Cameron folded her arms. We are engaged. That was not my question. We share a home. That was not my question either. Her voice sharpened. I handled something Bruno refused to handle because he was being stubborn. Grandpa finally spoke. You stole from children. Cameron's eyes flashed. I did not steal anything. Emily is going to be Bruno's daughter. My great-grandchildren already are his children. Martin slid a document across the table. The purpose of the funds was established in writing. The venue has been contacted. The payment has not been spent. We are submitting formal notice that the transfer was unauthorized. Cameron turned toward me. You are humiliating Emily. No, I said. You did that when you promised her money that was never yours. The next morning, Emily posted a picture of herself crying in her car. My wedding venue was stolen from me by a man who never wanted me in his family. Please pray for us. Darren shared it. Cameron's mother shared it. Then Emily posted again. He controls my mom with money. He monitors her. This is financial abuse. That crossed the line. I opened the camera archive. The footage showed Cameron entering my office with my tablet. 20 minutes later, she walked out speaking on the phone. The audio was faint but clear. "I did it," she said. "He will be angry for a day or two, but he will calm down. Once the deposit is paid, he will not embarrass himself by taking it back." Then she laughed. "He is a banker. He hates looking emotional. That is why this works." I checked the backup drive connected to my desktop. Months earlier, Cameron had logged into her messaging account on my computer to print a flight confirmation and never disconnected it properly. I found screenshots between Cameron and Emily. Emily had written, "Just use the tablet. You know his code." Cameron replied, "I do not want him to think I am stealing." Emily answered, "You will be his wife soon. It is not stealing if it stays in the family." Then came the message that ended my last excuse for them. "If he makes a scene, I will post about financial abuse. People already think bankers are cold." I copied everything onto an external hard drive. The video, the screenshots, the account logs, the transfer confirmation, Grandpa's letter. Then I called Daniel. "Did Emily tell you I offered to pay the venue deposit?" I asked. Silence. "Yes," he said slowly. "She said it was your gift." "I never offered." Another silence. "What happened?" he asked. "I think you should come to dinner on Saturday." Cameron believed Saturday dinner was an attempt at reconciliation. She invited everyone. Emily and Daniel arrived first. Darren came with his wife. Cameron's mother brought a casserole no one touched. Grandpa sat beside Claire while Noah explained constellations. Martin arrived last. Cameron looked irritated when she saw him. "Why is the lawyer here?" "Because this conversation involves documents," I said. "I thought we were talking like a family." "We are." Dinner never started. I placed the hard drive on the table and connected it to the television. The first document was Grandpa's signed letter. I read the relevant paragraph aloud. "The $25,000 are reserved for the exclusive future benefit of Noah Moretti and Claire Moretti. These funds are not intended for household expenses, gifts, loans, weddings, or personal purchases." Darren leaned back. "You made your point. Stop embarrassing everyone." I have not reached the embarrassing part. I opened the transfer confirmation, then the login record, then the hallway video. Cameron's recorded voice filled the room. "I did it. He will be angry for a day or two, but he will calm down." On the screen, she laughed. "He is a banker. He hates looking emotional. That is why this works." Nobody moved. Cameron's face drained of color. "You recorded me? The camera has been there for a year. You invaded my privacy. You entered my office, used my tablet, accessed an account without permission, and transferred money reserved for my children." Her mother whispered, "Cameron was trying to help Emily. The wedding has been stressful." Grandpa looked at her. "Stress is when the cake arrives late. Theft is when you take money from children and call it love." Emily stood. "This is insane. Mom told me." Bruno agreed. "No," Daniel said. Everyone turned toward him. He placed his phone on the table. "She told me Bruno wanted to surprise us," Daniel said. "But Emily sent me this." He opened their messages. "Bruno is paying. Do not ask questions. He likes acting difficult first, because it makes him feel important." Then another message: "Mom can get into the account. Once the deposit clears, he will not reverse it. He is too worried about looking cheap." Emily reached for the phone. Daniel pulled it away. "Do not." Her tears disappeared instantly. "You are taking his side. I am reading your words." Darren stood. "This is ridiculous. Bruno, you earn good money. It is $25,000. It is easy to be generous with someone else's money. You are destroying a family over a number. No, I am ending a pattern because the number finally became large enough for everyone to see." Then I opened the screenshots from Cameron and Emily's conversation. The final message appeared on the television. "If he makes a scene, I will post about financial abuse." People already think bankers are cold. Nobody defended them after that. The public humiliation had not been an emotional reaction. It had been planned. Cameron started crying. "I made a mistake." "A mistake is entering the wrong amount. You tried to log in, failed, waited, used my tablet, transferred the full balance, and prepared a public story to ruin my reputation if I refused to accept it. I was desperate. You were confident." She looked toward Noah and Claire. Claire was holding Grandpa's hand. "That was when my patience ended. Do not look at them now," I said. "You had every chance to remember they existed before you took their money." Cameron's mother began crying. Mother began crying. "Bruno, please. Canceling a wedding and breaking an engagement will damage everyone. I am not canceling Emily's wedding. She can still get married anywhere she can afford." Emily glared at me. "You always hated me." "No. I paid for your car repair. I covered your rent when you lost your job. I paid for your certification course. I did not hate you. I simply stopped financing the version of love your family understands." Daniel pushed his chair back. "Emily, I need space. Her face collapsed. You cannot be serious. I cannot marry someone while wondering which parts of my life were edited for convenience. She followed him toward the door. Daniel, wait. This was Mom's idea. Cameron looked at her daughter in shock. Daniel stopped. No, he said, you both handled it. Then he walked out. Darren left with his wife. Cameron's mother remained seated, staring at the casserole. Cameron looked at me. So that is it? You are throwing away 2 years. I removed my engagement ring and placed it on the table. I am not throwing away anything. I am accepting what the last 2 years actually were. You love me. I love the person I believed you were. Bruno, please. You need to pack your things. Martin will provide a written schedule for collecting anything you cannot take tonight. You will not contact my children directly. For 1 second, Cameron's tears vanished. Her face hardened. You are going to regret humiliating me. Grandpa rose slowly. No, he said. He regretted trusting you. That is different. The venue refunded the deposit after Martin submitted the documentation and the bank opened a formal dispute. I filed a report regarding the unauthorized account access. Pretending it had been a misunderstanding would have created a dangerous precedent. I did not feel triumphant. I felt tired. Cameron moved out within a week. Her relatives launched a new version of the story. According to Darren, I had weaponized legal paperwork against a woman I claimed to love. According to Cameron's mother, I had manipulated an elderly man into taking my side. According to Emily, I had destroyed her wedding because I could not handle sharing attention. The Facebook posts multiplied. One included a photograph of Cameron sitting alone at her mother's kitchen table. Some women discover too late that control can wear a calm voice and an expensive watch. That was when I responded. Not with anger, not with insults. I posted one statement. I removed account numbers, blurred private information, and attached only the documents necessary to correct the lies. Grandpa's letter, the transfer confirmation, the login history, and a short excerpt of the hallway recording. I did not cancel anyone's wedding. I reversed an unauthorized transfer of funds reserved for my children. The transfer occurred without my permission. The public accusations against me were discussed before I discovered the transfer. I will not debate this online. My children's privacy is not negotiable. Then I turned off comments. Several relatives deleted their posts. 2 of Cameron's friends messaged me privately to apologize. Darren sent a long text saying he had reacted emotionally and hoped we could move forward like adults. I did not answer. Emily wrote once, Daniel postponed the wedding. I hope you are happy. I replied, your relationship is your responsibility. My children's money is mine. Do not contact me again. Then I blocked her. At work, I informed my compliance department before the story could reach them through social media. Banking is built on trust. I was not going to hide an incident involving unauthorized access simply because the person responsible had been my fiancé. My manager reviewed the documents. You handled this like a banker, he said. Now handle the rest like a father. He was right. For years, I had treated my boundaries like negotiable interest rates. I adjusted them depending on who was asking. I accepted guilt as though it were a service charge that ended. I changed the locks. I replaced the tablet. I moved the children's money into a formal education trust with Grandpa and Martin present. Then I added my own contribution, not because the account had lost money. Every dollar had been restored. I added money because I wanted the first transaction after the theft to mean something different. Grandpa matched it. You do not have to do that, I said. I know, he answered. That is why it is a gift. A month later, I started a small financial literacy program at a community center near my bank. Saturday mornings, twice a month, budgeting, credit scores, saving for children, protecting accounts, understanding why passwords are not romantic gestures. At first, 6 people attended, then 12. Then a local reporter wrote a short article, and the next session filled up. I did not tell the reporter about Cameron. I did not need to build my future around the story of what she had done. Sometimes people hurt you and expect to remain the main character in your recovery. They do not have to. Noah and Claire adjusted faster than I expected. They asked whether Cameron would come back. I said no. They asked whether the breakup was their fault. I told them absolutely not. Claire frowned. She took our future money? Yes. Why? I thought about softening the answer. Instead, I told her the truth in a form she could carry. Because she wanted something badly and convinced herself that wanting it made it hers. Claire considered that. That is not how things work. No, I said, it is not. 6 months later, I received a final letter from Cameron. It arrived at the bank because she no longer had my personal address or my new phone number. The envelope contained 4 pages. She wrote that Emily's wedding had become an obsession, that she believed the money would eventually be replaced, that she thought I would forgive her because I loved her. One sentence explained everything. I thought you would be angry, but I never believed you would actually leave. I read that line twice. Then I understood. Cameron had not mistaken my kindness for weakness once. She had built her entire plan around it. She believed my love meant there would never be a consequence large enough to threaten her comfort. She believed every boundary was temporary if she pushed hard enough. She believed my calmness meant I could be handled. I did not reply. I placed the letter in the blue folder with the rest of the documents and gave it to Martin for safekeeping. Then I went home. Noah was in the backyard with a telescope. Grandpa had bought him for his birthday. Claire was sitting on the patio, drawing a sign for my financial literacy program. She had written, "Your future is not someone else's emergency fund." The letters were crooked. The word emergency barely fit on the page. It was perfect. Grandpa stood beside me, holding 2 cups of coffee. "She gets that from you," he said. The handwriting, the stubbornness. I smiled. The following week, I made a donation to a scholarship fund for children from single-parent households. The amount was not $25,000. I was not trying to prove anything, but I included a note. For young people whose future deserves protection, even when adults become careless with it. Then I changed one final thing. For years, the plaque on my home office door had simply read, Bruno Moretti. I replaced it with a new one. Noah and Claire's future starts here. Every time I passed it, I remembered the moment Cameron stood in my office doorway with a glass of wine and told me to consider the stolen money a gift. She had been wrong. The gift was not the money. The gift was the clarity. I was not guilty because someone had used my loyalty against me. I was not cruel because I refused to keep financing people who mistook access for love. And I was not an instrument anymore. I was a father. I was free. And the future belonged to my children again.